as you look at shots of downtown Tulsa, One Oak Field to be precise. We had heavy rain in these parts this morning, but that's all cleared away now, and we're set fair for this kickoff between Orange County SC and the Tulsa Roughnecks. These two met back in March in an 8-goal thriller, the Roughnecks coming out on top by 5 goals to 3. Orange County then 6th place, 42 points. The Roughnecks 16th. They have 5 games left, still with an outside shot at the playoffs. 4 of those 5 here at One Oak Field. Everybody knows in these parts the Roughnecks went 17 games without a win before beating Fresno by 2 goals to 1 in late August. They are now 4 games unbeaten as they come into tonight's match. One of the reasons for Orange County's success has been the form of the Jamaican striker Michael Seaton. 12 goals and 5 assists. He'll be certainly someone that Coach Ensign and the Roughnecks defence will be looking out for tonight. As for the Roughnecks, a really good signing back in August of the Brazilian Marlon. He scored 3 goals in his last 3 games to give more spice to Coach Ensign's attack. We are set fair then for kickoff. We'll take a break now. Right after the break, the starting lineups and the first half of 2 teams in a rich vein of form. It's Orange County SC against the Tulsa Roughnecks.
My name is Abigail Bailey. I was at my yearly checkup when I was 12, and we went and got x-rays, and she diagnosed me with scoliosis and that we needed surgery as soon as possible.
Tulsa Bone and Joint was very compassionate. They took their time with us. They answered questions. He was very encouraging.
Dr. Clark helped me see that there is life after spinal fusion. Just because your spine is fused doesn't mean that you can't do what you love to do.
I'm Chad Smith with Becco Contractors. As an employer, we're always worried about new employees coming to the job and not being aware of their surroundings and just not knowing what they're really doing because it's a new job site. So the partnership with Tulsa Tech has really helped us take that worry out of the equation. We know that they're fully trained and ready to go by the time they show up on the job.
How was school today?
Mrs. Smith, what are you doing?
Recycling.
You can't put plastic bags in the blue recycling cart, but you can recycle this milk jug. You can recycle stuff from all over the house.
You can recycle this empty box.
What about these hangers?
Just aluminum and steel cans, paper and cardboard, plastic bottles and jugs,
glass bottles and jars.
To learn more, check out TulsaRecycles.com.
Welcome into downtown Tulsa for this match, be precise, where we have 2 teams tonight in form. First of all, the visitors unchanged from their last game where they won 2-0. And they've got 2 really good strikers up front. We highlighted in the pre-match there, Michael Seaton, 12 goals and 5 assists, 3 goals he's scored. 1 in each of the last 3 games, and ably assisted there by Jones up front. They come into Tulsa tonight with 5 wins on the bounce. They currently sit in 6th on 42 points, and they will be a match for the Tulsa Roughnecks. The Roughnecks with their lineup looking out for Toby Uzo up front to continue up front. He plays up there on his own for the Tulsa Roughnecks, ably assisted by Altamirano and Marlon, the Brazilian. We are set fair then for kickoff here. The referee tonight is Guido Gonzalez, assisted by Truman Berghol and Shane Kennard and Wes Kayette. we are set fair then for this matchup, and it's an important one because the Roughnecks still have an outside chance of making the playoffs. They have 5 more games, including 4 here at One Oak. As for Orange County, as I said, they are in 6th place with aspirations of finishing higher up the table. More of the standings with you at half-time. The Roughnecks then will be kicking from right to left on your screens, all in blue tonight with those orange trims, with Orange County in an all-white strip with their red trims. Watch for Michael Seaton up front, a very good striker. He scored all 12 goals inside the 18-yard box, and underway we go. Orange County then pumping it forward, away by Luca Lobo, the left back for the Roughnecks. DaCosta goes to ground. Play on, says our centre referee. Long ball into the box is a little bit too much for Seaton, although he will get on to this one. Matt Sheldon, who's at right back, just shepherding him back there. Orange County in good possession here. Ball over the top, and that will go harmlessly through to Sean Lewis. Sean Lewis, who had a hamstring injury early on in the season, the man in all sky blue there, but he's kept goal very well, got his place back, and has kept it very well. And a clean sheet last week at Real Monarchs in the 1-0 win with a goal from Marlon. Roughnecks unbeaten in their last 4. And that win against Fresno on August the 31st, a very important one. It took a long time. There was a lot of relief and celebration about One Oak on that night. Free kick it is. The foul on Sheldon there. It's going to be a free kick, and it's quickly taken. Here's the captain, Cyprian Hedrick, former San Antonio man. Ball is out. Altamirano just didn't keep that one in. So it's going to be a throw-in. Orange County then playing it out from the back. And here is Hume. Hume forward. Cut out well by Marlon, although he just got dispossessed there. Still the ball with Orange County, as we said, coming into this one. 5 impressive wins in a row. Amico sends it back. Long ball now over the top, looking to go over the top of Luca Lobo. And that one is out, not kept in there by Van Uyck. So a throw-in for Luca Lobo. Lobo, who really hit the ground running, playing at the back, but he was getting up for set pieces, and the Roughnecks got off to a pretty good start this season. And then it all seemed to go wrong. As I said, a long time, 17 games they went without a win before that win against Fresno. And there's a new buoyancy about the camp here at the Roughnecks. Incredible to be talking about an outside chance, really, of making the top 10, which, of course, is the playoff positions. But that's where they stand with the latest run. Orange County then building from the back. Long ball over the top, but again, that's no good for the likes of Michael Seaton and Darwin Jones, who that potent strike force, really in good form. Both teams in good form as they come to this one. Here's Lobo looking for Uzo. Uzo gets a slight flick on that one. Not enough, though. Cleared away by Miko. Marlon Roberts there heading the ball away, the big number 15. He's formed a good partnership with Captain Hedrick at the back. Here is Roberts again, having to clear the danger. He's got a slight bump there from Darwin Jones. In fact, he felt that, Roberts. He's just stayed down. Be a throw-in for Orange County SC. Miko comes up from right back, throws it in field. Forrester. And Miko's just about kept it in. Altamirano takes over. Bad first touch from him. Not enough for Uzo, and then Altamirano gets fouled by Orozco, the captain. Referee quickly in. Roughnecks wanted to go quickly there with Manny Gonzalez, but that one will come back because the referee's having a chat with Captain Orozco for that foul. There you can see a shot of the two of them in deep conversation. Referee communicating early with the players. Free kick then going to be taken by Luca Lobo. Here's Roberts spinning it out to his captain Hedrick. Hedrick goes early to Sheldon. Sheldon infield to Uzo. That's good play from the Roughnecks. First chance outside of the foot, looking for Uzo inside the 6-yard box there. And the referee has said there's an infringement. And that will be a foul on Hume. And so it will be a free kick for Orange County. 6th placed Orange County. Going back to that thriller between these two. We got anything like that tonight, it would be a great game. 8 goals were shared. The Roughnecks coming away with a 5-3 win way back in March. And here we are in September at the business end of the season. Points so vital now as lots of teams. In fact, there's only one team and it's that's been eliminated from the playoffs, and that's Tacoma Defiance. The Roughnecks have to go to Tacoma. That's the last away game for them. As I said, 4 home games for the Roughnecks. So they feel they've got an outside chance. They would need other teams to help them out. Lewis now out of his goal. Clears right-footed towards the right-hand side. Headed back by Sheldon to halfway. An Orange County takeover here was Seaton. Seaton, who's gone wide on the left-hand side. Just a great all-round striker, Michael Seaton. As I said, goals, all of his goals inside the box, some with his head. Just a good all-round striker. That's a threaded ball through. Kept in by Amico. Amico towards the near post. That's an easy catch for Sean Lewis, but a good threaded ball through. Good start from Orange County here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Lewis then will have to punt forward because of the high press by Seaton and Jones. Flicked on by Uzo, but Altamirano hadn't made the run. That will go all the way through to keeper Du. The man all in yellow plays out to Hume, and Hume goes to left back Orozco. Hume again now with the ball. There's Orozco. And there's Orange Boots. The captain has already had a talking to from the referee. No card produced. 7 minutes gone, 0-0. Long ball, looking for Seaton. There's Hedrick, who no doubt has done his homework on Seaton. He's going to have his hands full tonight with Malin Roberts with those two up front. Darwin Jones joining him very quickly there. Here's Forrester going back to Orozco. Orange County happy to keep possession here. Hume then. Just a neat little ball forward there to Aidan Quinn. Hasn't seen much of the ball inside the first 8 minutes. There's Manny Gonzalez in the midfield. Does all the unsung hero work in the deep midfield role in the 4-2-3-1 formation, favoured by Coach Ensian. Matt Sheldon fouled. So a free kick. Here's Hedrick then to Roberts. Here's the foul on Sheldon. Just a little clip from Seaton, no malicious intent. That one's a foul on Manny Gonzalez. Right on halfway then, the Roughnecks with a short free kick. Reyes there to Roberts. Roberts now looking for support ahead of him, chips the ball up towards the big figure of Uzo, whose job is to hold the ball up and bring in the likes of Marlon and Altamirano. Here he is, Uzo. Gonzalez. Gonzalez will go wide to Sheldon, up from right back. Matt Sheldon now. Could favour a shot here, tries to find Gonzalez, didn't. Everybody back for Orange County. Here's Hedrick. Hedrick towards Uzo. Uzo is offside. Always a heart and mouth there for the defenders because the assistants are told to just delay that flag as long as possible. And then when the player becomes active, as Uzo did there, the flag goes up. 0-0, the first offside. And here's Hume for Orange County. Into Aidan Quinn. Quinn over the top, looking for Van Uwijk. Van Uwijk wants to throw, so does Sheldon. Referee's gone with Orange County here, down their left. Here's Van Uwijk turning. Hedrick gets some kind of a challenge in. Still they keep possession, do the Californians. Here's Amico. Back to Forrester. Forrester evades one challenge, finds Van Uwijk. Van Uwijk's got a slightly free roll tonight. Here's Forrester with a left-footed shot, curls it. Could have done better. There was a deflection. It's going to be a corner. See the replay here. Looking at that, wondering whether there was a deflection, but it's been given, and it's going to be a corner, and it's going to be Harry Forrester from the left-hand side as Orange County attack. You can see there the wind flapping the corner flag. There's a slight breeze here tonight. That's towards the near post, headed away well by Uzo, who's back there. Aidan Quinn, left-footed ball back into the box. Touchdown. Orange County looking to get on the board early here. Reyes gets a challenge in. Throw in to the Roughnecks. Matt Sheldon with it, the number 13. First season with the Roughnecks. Throws the ball down the right-hand side, looking for Uzo. Inadvertently headed on by Christian Duke. Sheldon has made some 20 yards up the right-hand side. Sheldon throws the ball down towards Uzo. Uzo right on halfway, battling away for the cause. Does well to evade a few challenges. Reyes to Sheldon. Good turn from the Brazilian Marlon here. Feeds Uzo. Good soccer being played by Mike Ensian's men here. Reyes, long raking ball to the left-hand side to try and bring in Altamirano. Altamirano onto his right foot. Could be a chance here. Great block. Altamirano there bringing it onto his right foot. Beautiful piece of skill, but blocked at the near post. And there is Christian Altamirano, who will go and take the corner. But you see a great block here. Lovely raking ball from Reyes. Brought down beautifully here onto his right foot. And there is Orozco, the captain, doing his duty there and blocking. Corner to the Roughnecks. From their left. Plenty of players in and around the 6-yard box. Here's the corner from Altamirano. Out comes the keeper, gets a punch on it. It's going to come to Sheldon. Sheldon will put it back into the danger area. DaCosta down and easily saved. Well, with just weeks remaining, the pressure is officially on. Tune into ESPN 3 on October the 2nd as El Paso Locomotive look to secure one of the final playoff spots, while Fresno FC has its sights set on hosting some playoff games. It's Locomotive FC and the Foxes, October the 2nd for Wednesday Night Soccer on ESPN 3. Seaton is fouled. And it's going to be a free kick here for Orange County. Looking for their 6th win in a row to improve on their 6th place, 42 points. Here's the free kick. 5 players in and around the 18-yard line. Seaton's there. Seaton heads over. Couldn't quite get over that one. He had a similar chance, which he scored in the last game. Twisting and turning with his header there, but just getting underneath it. And there is Michael Seaton, the man in really good form, the Jamaican. 12 goals. Here's the ball in there, and it just is over the top of him. He just couldn't get enough on that one. Good pressure from the defender as well. Goal kick then for Lewis. Lewis drives the ball up to Uzo. Beaten in the air. Seaton cushions it down. This is a good run here. Lewis comes out. Lewis does well. Is there going to be a touch there? There isn't for Darwin Jones. And Lewis did just about enough. The man in picture there. Jones wanted another goal. But Lewis did just about enough. We'll see it here. Nice ball through. Here's Jones' first touch there. Lewis comes out, gets a touch. It bounces off Jones and just too much as it goes out for the goal kick. It remains 0-0, coming up to the 15-minute mark here at One Oak Field. Uzo is underneath this one, beaten easily by Quinn. Altamirano wants to keep that one in, does keep that one in, says the assistant. Here's Duke. Now the Roughnecks looking to get something going, but Duke breaks it up. Darwin Jones laying it off to Seaton. Those two combining once again. Reyes got caught from behind there, but nothing doing, says the referee. Now there's a ball into the box, and that's collected by Sean Lewis, who immediately bowls it out here. Roughnecks need all 3 points. They probably need to win all 5 games if they're to have any possibility at all of finishing in the top 10. As I said, they'd need favours from other teams. Lots of twists and turns in the promotion and the playoff races, I should say. Here's Lewis, just bowling it out here to Roberts. Roberts under no pressure at all. Wants to go long up towards Uzo. Uzo, powerful header to Altamirano. Altamirano now on this left-hand side, cutting in. Amico steps in with a challenge. Ball brought down by Quinn, who does that unsung hero work in the deep midfield. Amico. Hume just lays the ball off here. 0-0 the score. Good game. Plenty of possession from the Californian side. Orozco will go to Amico, the right back. And he will play the ball back here to Jew. Nil-nil here at One Oak as the ball is played down the line. Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the Championship and League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Still possession here from Orange County. Just under 18 minutes gone in this first half. Temperature on kickoff around about 85 degrees. There has been some heavy rain in Tulsa, but it hasn't affected the field here, and I arrived at the ground a couple of hours ago and it was bright sunshine and quite warm now, but certainly pleasant temperature, pleasant temperatures, Jeremy Poplin, of late that have been in the mid to high 90s.
It really wasn't that bad, Dave, this afternoon at all. As a matter of fact, this morning we had brief intermittent showers here in the 918 area code, and later on this afternoon it got rather toasty, cleared off for a while, and we have settled into a absolutely brilliant evening here at One Oak Field in downtown Tulsa in the 19th minute, and we have some build up here from the Roughnecks, and Marlin leaves it off, and the assistance flag is up on the far side, and that will stop the Roughnecks penetration here in the 19th.
Yeah, just going a little bit too early there, but they're certainly trying to get the ball up to Uzo and then play through the likes of Marlon and Altamirano from the wings.
Of course, the story of these two sides coming in has been their play as of late and what Orange County has done to put themselves in the position that they are in the table in the West has been quite the story. And you know, Dave Saunders, as a foul was called center of the pitch, that looked like they wanted to go with a quick start there, that based off of what happened in the early portion of the season, revenge is on their mind against the Roughnecks after falling 5-3 in what was a wild one out on the West Coast.
Yeah,
way early in the year.
That's right. I was mentioning earlier it was an 8-goal thriller, wasn't it? And the Roughnecks were at that time, Pop. They were looking so strong, weren't they? They really got off to a great start, and then, as I was saying, it was 17 games before they got that 2-1 win over Fresno. But that was quite the game, wasn't it?
Driven ball there. Good job in tracking back by Toby Uzo. Here's Manny Gonzalez, and it's Rodrigo da Costa through the center circle. Sprays it out wide, has Christian Altamirano. Altamirano has a little bit of space, cuts to the inside of the defender. Defender got just enough of a piece of it to knock him away, and Brian Reyes now using that strong body as the attempted shot. It's deflected off of the defender, and the Roughnecks will reset. Settling here in the middle third of the field. Would have liked to have seen maybe a tad bit more pace on that change of possession from the Roughnecks here to really try to take advantage of that moment. There's the captain, Cyprian Hedrick. He's done better with balls in the past, and quickly a well-placed ball over the top, running onto it. And now settle back, that's Darwin Jones, and what an incredible performer that he's been so far for Orange County.
Oh, Darwin Jones, he just is the great foil for Michael Seaton, isn't he? And those two, I can't think of two better strikers that are playing together at the moment in the form that they're in. They're just in great form here.
Manny Gonzalez maybe got away with a little bit of a hack there. Jones settles, and that one sent well over the top of the crossbar. An opportunity there as the ball trickled back and sent over the top here in the 22nd.
It's interesting, Pop, isn't it? Going back to that 5-3 where the Roughnecks won. I mean, you look at Orange County, the way they started the season, a 2-2 draw. Then that 5-3 incredible game with the Roughnecks. Then they drew 2-2 with New Mexico at home. Then they go to El Paso and lose. And it wasn't until they went to Colorado that they picked up their first win of the season. So contrasting seasons for both these clubs. They've really changed things around, haven't they?
Well, and it had to be frustrating from Orange County's perspective, Dave, from the last time that the Roughnecks, or that we have had the opportunity to see them, but to finish off the way they did last year in being the Western Conference champions, and to have the disappointing finish to the season in which they had, and then to not start the way they wanted to here in 2019. But it truly shows you the strength of where this club is at, to never lose that vision, to always have the faith in the system that you developed. Oh, and by the way, to go out, execute that system, and to bring in quality level players like Orange County has. That's what has them in this position.
It certainly does. And, you know, add into that as well, I know he's injured at the moment, but someone I know well from England, Liam Trotter, who's very experienced, 31-year-old, born in Ipswich, and play for Bolton Wanderers in the English Championship. I mean, they're not afraid to bring in experience as well. And then we keep mentioning him, but, you know, Seaton and Jones up front are just a fantastic striking force as we get a yellow card. Talking of force, a little bit too much force in the challenge from Brian Reyes there.
Yeah, challenge here in the middle of the pitch. Reyes has to be careful here, still kind of barking at it. You see the captain, Cyprian Hedrick, kind of stepping in and taking control of the situation. We'll see here on the replay. Yeah, just diving through right there. I think in today's game, 2019, that's going to be a card at almost every single chance.
Yeah, and Reyes, you know, he's that kind of player, isn't he? I don't think he means to go in and break legs. Cyprian Hedrick still in conversation with the centre referee, but, you know, Reyes and Gonzalez, that kind of is their job, to break things up in midfield,
yeah.
But that was a bit untidy.
No, and I like that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I know maybe untimely coming in here, and I'm sure if someone's watching from Orange County, they might have a completely different, you know, perception on it. But from there, just how the season has gone, you have to have full context to how the Roughnecks season has gone so far to see that type of energy and passion from one of their players.
Yeah, there's been a few games when some of the fans would certainly say, haven't they, that they haven't seen the passion. I think the effort's always been there, and Roughnecks have just turned it around incredibly. And 4 games unbeaten, including that 1-0 win down at Real Monarchs.
Well, let's give credit where credit's due as well, because, you know, for a while, I think one of the areas, and Michael Winston will tell you, is another foul here that they have to have been disappointed with, was the amount of goals that they've conceded, especially over that long stretch of time there where they went winless. As Reyes is getting a talking to now, and our referee Gonzalez is out there kind of making sure things are calming down right now, and that'll be the last warning that Reyes has right now. But here over this last stretch of unbeaten for the Roughnecks, one of the areas that's drastically improved for me has been the play of that back line. And not only that, but I think Sean Lewis has been really incredible in goal.
Sean Lewis has come back from that injury, hasn't it? I think it was a hamstring injury, wasn't it? That I remember him taking a goal kick and just pulling up there, had to be substituted. He's come back brilliantly, and he's been incredible in goal, and was one of the reasons why they got the 3 points at the Real Monarchs, wasn't it, with the 1-0 win. One of those old-fashioned wins, get the goal and sort of dig in and try and manage the game. And that's what's kind of been missing a little bit this season. The Roughnecks have conceded some soft goals, but they're harder to score on now.
Ball sit in, that one curling over the top of the crossbar. No trouble whatsoever. It was at least 10 yards over the top from Forrester, and if he had an opportunity, he would want that one back. And speaking of goalkeepers, I hope that you've had a chance to talk about Frederick Dew so far, the young keeper in for Orange County, because his signing from Hartford, and they were kind of, it was a numbers game for them, you know, went through one goalkeeper, and then you've got one that's probably going to get called up to Under-17 World Cup. You know, they needed someone else, and by the time, Dave, that you making your way down to your third keeper, sometimes that doesn't always work out, and it has worked out incredibly for Orange County. Yeah,
it has worked out incredibly, and credit to him and the defence. I'm looking at the results, and you go back to the 13th of July for the last time that they conceded 3. That was away at Austin Bold, and then, you know, just the odd goal here and there. So they've been very hard to score on. Here are the Roughnecks trying to break the deadlock.
Ball settled. And then the long ball on the dead run over the top. Cyprian Hedrick has to track it down. That one's a bit too heavy. Right idea, though, if you're going to quick and turn with that look and place one over the top. Got some speed up there at the top for Orange County with Seaton, who's shown various skill sets throughout 2019.
He's the all-round striker, isn't he? I was saying earlier that all of his goals have been inside the box. He's scored some with his head. He's just fit, conditioned. He's quick. He gives defenders a big problem. And we know it only takes one chance for a quality striker to score a goal. But at the moment, Hedrick and Roberts have got the shackles on him.
Orange County settling in now, cuts to the inside. Right at the edge of the center circle. Long ball played over the top. No trouble whatsoever for Sean Lewis.
It's a good game. Neither keeper's had a save to make yet. You know, Orange County have had a few shots which have gone a few yards wide. Nothing really for the Roughnecks as yet. You can see Reyes pulling out of that challenge there. Pop, can you? He knows he's on his last warning.
Yeah, after picking up that yellow card and then having a good talking to. And that is something that you'll definitely have to keep an eye on to see at what points that he becomes aggressive or knows that he has to pull off.
Yeah, just has to be intelligent with which challenge he's going to make. And he needs his teammates around him as well, doesn't he, just to help him out.
Seaton coming back to receive that ball. Outlet pass to the outside, the far touchline. Now they'll switch fields to the opposite side. Settle there, Amico. Good movement right now from Orange County. Just test from one side to the next. Good balls that want to probe the central portion of that Roughnecks defense, and that's Altamirano who steps in front. Uzo holding up play. Gonzalez now, and the Roughnecks to the opposite side. Have Rogers running on, or excuse me, Matt Sheldon running onto it.
And I think what Orange County have done extremely well, Pop, inside this first 29 minutes is they've kept Altamirano and Marlon pretty quiet on the wings. Marlon hasn't really got into the game. DaCosta hasn't really got into the game. So, you know, it does put a bit more pressure on the likes of Reyes and Gonzalez.
Amico trying to slot that ball centrally, unable to link up with the pass there, and that's Altamirano. Nice touch forward from Christian. Lobo, looping ball. Uzo tried to use his body weight, leaning back into that defender and then run on to the ball.
Yeah, if you're being slightly critical of the Roughnecks, just the difference between the two sides is that the Roughnecks tend to go long to Uzo. And I think the likes of Hume and Orozco are just lapping that up, really, because it's not really gone to where he wants it to be.
Here's Marlon. First real chance that we've seen in the last 10 minutes, and he takes a dump, and that will be a yellow into the books here in the 31st minute. That's Forrester. Marlon is still down. Hopefully that he is okay. Looks like he's going to be.
But that's what the Roughnecks need, Pop, isn't it?
No, you're exactly right. And we'll see here on the replay, Marlon gets that kind of caught up in between there. Good hard tackle there from Forrester. But that's that point, Dave, and I feel like that you saw a little bit more pace with that ball with Marlon, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is that when they had numbers, I wish they would have went quicker on the attack than what they did. Now, it's much easier from our position to sit here and nitpick on things like that, but this is a golden opportunity here in the 31st.
Yeah, and when you loop the ball up to the likes of Uzo, you know, like you're right, it kind of slows things down, and I think that's what the point I was trying to make. Altamirano and Marlon and DaCosta need to be involved, and the first two I mentioned there, the wingers, they'll provide the speed.
Here is DaCosta's ball curling. Still around in the box, and that one will dip over the top of the bar, as Alan Roberts was the Roughnecks defender that was up inside the box, and a goal kick coming up.
Yeah, goal kick coming up, as you say, and a header that really didn't, again, do anything to do in the Orange County goal. Well, I think the Roughnecks will be quite happy to be at 0-0 at the moment against a team like Orange County, who are in this rich vein of form.
Well, it brings up a really intriguing question to watch how the rest of this plays out in the West in particular, because you've got Phoenix that is just, in most people's opinion, at a completely different level than anyone else in championship. But there is something to be said for rounding into form, playing your best soccer here at this time of the year, and that's all you ask for, putting yourself in playoff position, continuing to climb up the table, which is what Orange County is doing. But Dave, momentum can do so many things for you, and how many times have we seen teams that we, without a doubt, a week or 2 weeks out from the playoffs, will say that team is playing the best, or that team looks like they're unbeatable, and yet the hot team seemingly takes them out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you want to be in form right now, don't you? We'll come back to it in a minute.
It's a low-driven ball. Marlon still has it, steps over the top of it from the corner of the 18. Simple ball played back into the box, curling ball. Keeper comes out. That was a great job there from Dew to get just a paw on it, slaps it in front of him, and then jumps on top. Yeah,
you just thought Marlon Roberts was coming in for the header towards goal, but that's good goalkeeping from the man in your frame there. Mr. Dew's done extremely well. Just looking at the possession stats, Pop, in the first 33 minutes, 63% in favour of Orange County. That's not a surprising statistic, is it, when you watch the way that they've knocked it around? But again, you'd have to say still no save for Sean Lewis to make in the Roughnecks goal.
No, not really a surprise at all from what we've seen so far from Orange County. And quite frankly, Tulsa has had a couple of these here as of late, because the last time that we were here inside this booth for their 2-1 win over Fresno, you know, controlled the possession at that point as well. And it just takes that one moment to change everything. And you can keep possession, but we'll take the lead.
Yeah, and again, you know, I go back to that last game for the Roughnecks that they won 1-0, Real Monarchs, and it was a lot of possession for the home side, a lot of good saves from Sean Lewis, as you alluded to earlier. He's done well between the pipes, and yet the Roughnecks come away with one of those old-fashioned 1-0 wins, one of those smash and grab, we call it in England, when you're under the cosh and then you get that one goal. Here's the Orange County on the attack. Chance here, ball coming into the near post, and there's going to be a corner for Orange County there. Good defending between Roberts and Hedrick, who again keep the back door shut. So it's going to be another corner.
That was a good opportunity for Orange County there, Dave.
It was. It was good defending, wasn't it? At the near post. Produces another corner, and they're certainly knocking on the door here, aren't they, Orange County?
This is Forrester has his hand raised. Set to step into this one. That ball caught some air. Still knocked down from Miko. Cleared out of the 18 by the Roughnecks. And we'll watch them push their back line forward. Just outside of the 18. Step over move there. Sheldon not allowing him to get to the byline to get that ball away. And then Forrester, in the second attempt, has now earned Orange County another corner.
It's interesting as well, if you look at the run-in for Orange County after the, tonight's game, next Saturday they go to Rio Grande, and then they've got OKC at home, and Fresno, they finished the season at home, so just 2 more home games for them. But
oh, great ball that was in, just out of the reach. Orozco was running through. It dipped perfectly. Roughnecks got in front of it first. Another good ball played towards the back post, and then a chance at a volley on the first touch from Seaton. And he will be disappointed in himself with that one.
Yeah, considering what form he's in. A good header, by the way, from the centre-back Hume. Just a right header to head it back across. And there was the man in your frame there, Michael Seaton. And we'll see on the replay here, it's a left-footed volley. This is a great header from Hume, Pop. You see this one. Look at that. That's perfect, isn't it? And then just a shot there, and a good few yards, and he hangs his head.
Well, and instances like that sometimes with defenders that are up that are using their size, and we'll get back to that point in a minute as the Roughnecks now with Altamirano gets towards the line, pulled it back, was clipped down, referee says play on. But my point was, there are times in which you just do anything to keep a ball alive. That's not what Hume was doing there. He had perfect placement on the header.
Yeah, it really was a good, experienced header there from the central defender. Knew he couldn't head towards goal, and it would be a more of a threat if he could find his top man up front, Michael Seaton. But Seaton there just blasting that one over. I was just coming back to the run-in. I think if you're an Orange County fan, Pop, I think you take the run-in because, like I said, OKC at home, Fresno at home to finish the season, and then trips to Rio Grande, Real Monarchs and Sacramento Republic. I mean, I'm not saying any of those are going to be easy, no matter with all the teams involved with a chance of the playoffs. But if you're an Orange County fan, I think you'd quite fancy the run-in.
Good ball that was there. That one went skipping across the face of the goal. Uzo was in the vicinity, but not able to get anything on it. And quickly, Orange County wants to go with the restart.
It's Lubo and Jones, isn't it?
Yeah, they got tangled up, and I think Jones got the worst of that.
And again, looking at the Roughnecks run-in, we were saying in the build-up, after tonight, 4 more home games, just 1 game away at Tacoma Defiance. Home games against San Antonio, Sacramento Republic. That's New Mexico. And then to finish off the season on October 19th, Reno 1868 FC. So Roughnecks fans, if they could get a result tonight, would really be saying, you know, if they got to win, I think, Pop, to realistic, I think they've got to win all of the remaining games if they're to have any chance whatsoever of finishing in that 10th spot.
Yeah, there's no question. It's going to be not only having to win the remainder of those matches, but you're also going to need help from a couple of those teams that are there fighting in that, you know, 8th, 9th, 10th spot if Tulsa has any aspirations of it. But, you know, Dave, you can't look at it as one entire chunk. You have to do this one match at a time. And first things first, they have to just focus on Orange County here this evening, and they've seemingly been doing a much better job of that here over this last, you know, 4 or 5 game run.
Well, they're just harder to beat, aren't they? And we were saying
Marlon's been the main difference in all of this.
Yeah, he's given it more spice to the attack. It's brought the best out of Altamirano. DaCosta's a little bit quiet tonight, but you know, we know that he can produce amazing pieces of magic. That overhead kick, I'm sure everybody who watches the USL would have noticed that goal. But and they're harder to beat now. You know, there's just more of a confidence in the camp, isn't there?
There's more of a confidence, and there's more of a continuity between the players and in trying to link up. We can sit here and point to, you know, DaCosta and Luca Lobo and a couple of other individual players in the attack. Altamirano is one of those. They're great individually. You needed something else to be able to tie them together. And I think that we would both be remiss if we did not brag on how much better that Gonzalez and Reyes have been as of late. They're parked in the center of that formation.
Yeah, and they've done a lot of the unsung hero work, but they're, you know, buoyed by the fact that they've got lads up front that are doing the business, aren't they? And that's helps your job. It's a team game, as we always say, but you need your big players to play, and Marlon's certainly a great signing and one of the big players here at the Roughnecks.
Lobo has it with the throw, 42nd minute, still scoreless. One of the hottest teams in the championship here.
Yeah, Orange County, again, we just take our hats off to them. That's a loose ball, but it's just great to have a great team coming in. And it's a good yardstick, as we would say, for the Roughnecks, isn't it? To be up against a team of this quality, just to see how far the Roughnecks have come.
Uzo just slips down, somehow still was able to complete that pass. Altamirano, the flag is up. He pulled back his run. Maybe tough to tell from this angle. Maybe we can get a look, but maybe no more than a step offsides. Had a big offsides call today, didn't we, my friend, there in the Premier League?
We certainly did, and it was interesting. Actually, I was just going to say, it's been a day for strikers being on the ground.
Yes.
And Uzo there, but Harry Kane's goal was absolutely phenomenal.
Driven ball.
Yeah, we can continue our debate, my friend, on VAR. It just seems to be more talked about every week. It's just got to be consistent. Like any good referee, we need a consistency. And if you're a Spurs fan, you'd be very upset on that today.
You can be upset, but they've also been, you know, benefactors of VAR as well. And trust me, that message was well received on Twitter today. That you can be upset about it now, but, you know, think back to when you benefited from it.
Well, it all evens out in the end, doesn't it? That's what has always been said way before VAR with refereeing decisions. Everything evens out. Some teams will say, well, no, you know, we've got bad luck after bad luck, but it probably does even out.
It's a good look there by Reyes. Marlon had his hand up, was calling for it. Now he's got options. He'll split, or at least attempt to split the defenders. Good tackle there. Just the outside edge of the center circle now. Marlon trying to fight back there. He's got to be careful. Raises his hand immediately.
Just for a moment, I thought it was Reyes there. But I think that just going back to Marlon there, he received the ball and he just had the defender in front of him. And I'm sure Coach Henderson would have said, that's exactly what we need if you're a Roughnecks fan and coach, because you want Marlon one-on-one with the defender. Go take him on, but he decided to step inside and ran into trouble and was swarmed by midfielders from Orange County.
Not quite sure how much extra time we'll have. Probably slim to none. Maybe 1 minute.
I think one, possibly, because we haven't had a trainer on the field.
Wonderful night here. Tad bit breezy. I think the wind affected that ball there from the back line. Got hung up for a moment. Reyes has to be careful turning back in centrally. Lobo. Altamirano. Now Christian will run directly at that defender. Contact there. Uzo hits the ground. Thought he might have sold it a bit much. Have to get a look on that replay at the next opportunity.
Sometimes the referee will go with the amount of contact. Sometimes the referee will go with the reaction of the player. And I think your words were correct. I think he tried to do a little bit too much there and maybe a bit too theatrical.
And that will do it. Hardly any stoppage time here, as it has been a clean half so far, and we'll take one look at it here. Okay, so the defender came through underneath, but I think he got there right as the ball was getting there as well, and I know they're having a discussion with it right now, as he is incredibly upset, is Toby Uzo right now, but he is having that explained to him as we head into the locker room here at halftime between two teams that are playing incredibly well right now in championship. One team has put themselves in a position to climb up the table here in the West. The other is trying to hold on to any hope that they might have remaining to make a playoff push in the Roughnecks. However, they have been in better form as of late. It's 0-0 at halftime. We'll take a timeout as these players walk off the pitch here at 1-0 Field. When we come back, we'll run down not only stats for you, but we'll have a look at some of the highlights as well here between the Roughnecks and Orange County SC.
My name's Sean Riley. I'm a practicing chiropractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been fortunate to practice for 19 years, owner-operator of the integrated facility Tulsa Spine and Rehab. This is what sets us apart at Tulsa Spine and Rehab. Integrated care. We have multiple different providers providing multiple different options for multiple different types of conditions. We have a concise treatment plan. What that means is it's not going to be open-ended. We're going to make specific recommendations. We're going to get you feeling better as quickly as we possibly can. And lastly, we're going to get you, the patient, on board with your treatment. What that means is we want to get you involved. We want to get you doing home exercise. We want you modifying activity. And what that means is we're going to try to keep you out of this office. Ultimately, we want to get you moving.
My name is Abigail Bailey. I was at my yearly checkup when I was 12, and we went and got x-rays, and she diagnosed me with scoliosis and that we needed surgery as soon as possible.
Tulsa Bone and Joint was very compassionate. They took their time with us. They answered questions. He was very encouraging.
Dr. Clark helped me see that there is life after spinal fusion. Just because your spine is fused doesn't mean that you can't do what you love to do.
I'm Chad Smith with Becco Contractors. As an employer, we're always worried about new employees coming to the job and not being aware of their surroundings and just not knowing what they're really doing because it's a new job site. So the partnership with Tulsa Tech has really helped us take that worry out of the equation. We know that they're fully trained and ready to go by the time they show up on the job.
What does it take to be a champion? Skill, strength, vision, an unrelenting desire to prove your worth week in, week out. An army of fans behind you screaming your name. And sometimes just a bit of luck. For 631 games over the course of the next 9 months, 22 players will step on the field to answer the question, why will it be you and not them? And the 36 teams, from the champions of yesterday to the challengers of tomorrow, only one will be right.
Let's go with the left foot, Jamal Johnson. What a goal! Perfectly placed.
With one touch to settle, and now it's behind the top of the net. Flag stays down, and Indy 11 has a one.
Ball struck towards the 18, headed on, and headed home.
Inside glancing header, and he caps it off with the goal of the night.
I think they want dangerous play call.
That one served in the back of the net. Fresno out of nowhere.
Milton serves it into the back post. It's off the woodwork and it's in.
That's in the back of the net. Another cross into the corner, and Hubbard does even better.
Moberg's gonna take a shot on goal with a cross and a fantastic save.
Good shot for Blackwood. Nice play by Van Oakland
to force him to give the ball up. Illich saved.
Curls and scores! Oh, Zaguro! Moshobani again. Back heel, Moshobani! He did it again!
Whips it in, finds the back post. Oh, what a finish, Arturo Rodriguez. Through ball though, Demas the other way, Demas saved by Hara.
In the middle, still Jaden Nelson, his shot, it's saved again by Giuliano Chache.
Wide open. Fitzgerald covering the mark, still Rodriguez, and stopped by Fitzgerald.
And I'm going to chase it. And I'm going to chase it. I know we can't ignore it, no matter how hard we try. And I'm going to chase it. And I'm going to chase it. I know we can't ignore it.
Roughnecks fans, stop by and see our awesome team at the 21st and Yale location. We have your free Roughnecks shirts, the latest phones, and we offer Amazon Prime free on select plans. Come and see us.
Welcome back to downtown Tulsa here at One Oak Field. Jeremy Poplin, Dave Saunders with you. It is scoreless at halftime with Orange County SC and the Tulsa Roughnecks. Incredible night here in downtown Tulsa where temperatures have dipped into the 70s. It's a breezy night. Let's look at some of the top storylines, Dave, and we'll start first with the remaining matches for the Roughnecks. Now, this one is an incredibly difficult one here tonight, even at halftime, but then with San Antonio coming in here on Wednesday night, you go on the road at Tacoma. You never really know what you're going to get when you go on the road to Tacoma because they could send players down from Sounders and could mix and match with their lineup. You could, in some instances, play a lineup that features 5 or 6 players from the parent team. So it's incredibly important if Tulsa's going to keep this playoff push alive here that they've got to take care of business here, then also be able to go on the road and take care of a Tacoma team.
Yeah, Tacoma, the only team officially eliminated from the playoffs. Nothing to play for, as you say. Don't know what you're going to get there. I think the important thing for the Roughnecks, Pop, is that 4 of those 5 games are here at One Oak, and they perform better at One Oak generally over the season.
Absolutely.
Gives them an outside chance.
Yeah, it's incredibly important, but as we talked about in the broadcast, this team has to find a way to win every single remaining match, and if not, be able to pull at least a point out of every match that they have and also get help. Now, contenders for the playoffs, we saw Reno clinch a playoff berth after they edged New Mexico. You saw T2 get a big win for its postseason hopes. And Dave, when you start taking a look at what the standings are right now, we were trying to guess about what the point line would be in the West, at least, to get into the playoffs. And I'm going to say right now, with San Antonio sitting at 38, I personally feel like you need to get to about 45 if you want to finish in that 9-10 spot.
I totally agree with you. 45 seems to be around about the number you need, and we've seen it around the world in various divisions, including the Premiership. You know, how many points you need to survive, and I think 45 is what we need here in the USL Championship.
And this will roll right into what we're talking about. We'll start first here in the East. But you look, and let's just, what at the top with Indy and New York with what they're doing. Nashville is just kind of hanging out there on the outside. Tampa has an outside shot at this as well. But let's jump down here to 8, 9, and 10, where St. Louis is in a battle for this right now. But 8, 9, and 10 there in the East, I mean, that could change so much here in the next week. And when you start looking past that and what they have, you know, Charleston sitting there with 35 points, and behind that it's Bethlehem at 30. Then it's kind of a gap between those, but there are still a lot of teams there that have a chance in the East as we look now to the West.
Yeah, it's great, the playoffs, isn't it? So many teams are involved, and, again, you talk about the top 10 there, Pop, but we know there's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, even the Tulsa Roughnecks in 16th place. I mean, there's still to play for, and that's what makes the playoffs interesting, because it keeps so many fans and teams interested.
San Antonio currently in the 10 spot. This will tell you how tight things are out west. You jump all the way down to 14. We talked about how big that win was for Portland. Portland now technically setting with 38. San Antonio 38 after tonight's results, with the Galaxy also at 40. But you go down to 14, that's where the Lights are with 35. They're 3 points out now from finding themselves in that number 10 spot. If you go 1 through 14 of teams that are at least within 1 win of finding themselves in the playoff spots, that should tell you a lot about how competitive the West has been.
Very, very competitive, and you just need a win. It doesn't matter how you get it, or 1-0 scrappy win, you just need it, and it's so important now.
All right, on to the team of the week. Great shots from our camera crew of the skyline here in Tulsa, and we'll start first with the championship. Martinez, what a week that he had. Also from Real Monarchs, excuse me. You got Hubbard there that's in the net, and Lindsay. And Wasowski. And what Reno has done, I put Reno as one of those teams that currently sitting in second place right now, so they're not going to surprise anyone, but You had players like what Danny has meant to them. Reno is a team, to me, that is incredibly dangerous to everyone in the West.
They always seem to perform, don't they? Whoever they've got in, they produce great players. They're exciting to watch. They're a great team.
And finally, on to League One and their team of the week, where we saw Carlos Gomez become the player of the week there in League One.
And 3 players from North Texas FC,
yeah.
So well done to them.
Absolutely. Wyatt Almsberg as well from Madison FC. Won 6 of 10 duels, completed 47 of 60 passes. And, yeah, you brought up those players, and I want to bring up one other quick one, and that is Jordan Peruzza from Toronto FC. He scored a pair of goals in Toronto's 3-2 victory at Orlando City B on Friday night to earn his spot on the League One Team of the Week. And back to action on a glorious evening here in the 918. And things get started in a hurry. That's a curling ball. Well, Dave, that one curled and did not miss much. Almost kissed the front of the post.
We have seen many a keeper embarrassed by a cross-come shot over the various games of soccer around the world, and that was nearly one of those. Altamirano didn't catch it as he would have liked, but a good start by the Roughnecks right from the whistle. They know they need 3 points. You're not going to see the Roughnecks hang back for a draw here tonight.
See how much pressure they put on Orange County here in the early going. That's a good square ball played to the opposite side. Settled there. Sheldon. Ball towards the back post, just over the top of Uzo, who had everything put into it, trying to climb those stairs to get to that ball. It continued to sail, and there's a giveaway from Reyes. Miscommunication there with Sheldon.
Well, you know, as a central defender, Pop, yourself, if you can't get the header to, you can't get the header, you just put the striker off, and that's exactly what happened there. There's Toby Uzo, who was complaining to the referee that he was bumped off the ball, but I think that was probably good experience defending.
Yeah, Guido Gonzalez, our center, I think he's had enough of Toby Uzo, and Toby picks up the second half in a complaint, feeling like that he was fouled, and if you remember, that's how they walked off the pitch with those two going at each other.
Interesting as well that Michael Seaton had a word with the referee at the end of the first half. I think he feels he's had a bit of rough treatment.
Good surrounding effort. Cyprian Hedrick stepping forward there, 3 spots to cut down, not allowing them to turn. Attempted a clearance and a foul. Sheldon had his legs taken out from underneath him.
I think Matt Sheldon's done well. He's had a sort of injury-riddled season, hasn't he? But he's come in of late, and again, consistency in the team has been what the doctor ordered, and he's done well at right back and has played at left back as well. So he's a good professional.
DaCosta looking for that ball there to Altamirano. Knocked away from him. Throw in now in front of the Orange County SC bench. Hume takes his time. Hume's a rather large lad, isn't he, Dave?
He is. I was just looking at him there, just casually going around the field. He's a very good defender, very strong, and I like him. It says 6'5" in our program notes from Dallas.
Every bit of it.
FC Dallas experience is never a bad thing, is it? So good defender. He's done well tonight.
Good job from Hedrick on the challenge. There's Reyes. There's Uzo. Uzo had to make a quick decision. Reyes kind of lost it there for a moment. Fortunate for him.
Yeah, a little pirouette there. I think he lost where the ball was, but still kept control, and the Roughnecks building some possession.
Roberts to Gonzalez. Orange County giving chase here. Pulled down directly in front of the bench. Foul there on Ben Wolfgang.
I said to you at halftime, I think Coach Ensign will just keep an eye on Brian Reyes. He won't want to go down to 10 in this one. No coach does, obviously, but with the yellow card and, you know, the referee will have it in his mind that one more foul from Reyes will be a second yellow. He's got Resende on the bench. You know, I think the coach will be looking, and I think the substitutions are going to be very important for both coaches tonight, Pop. You know, do you stick with the 11 you've got out there and hope you get one, or do you mix things up and try and go for all 3 points?
Well, that's an area that has seemingly improved as well as of late with Ensign. He's been pulling all the right strings and pushing all the right buttons as far as his lineup changes are concerned with the subs that have been coming in. Lots of contact there, loose on the ground. Finally cleared away as Marlin has to pick himself up.
Yeah, I don't think there was any foul there. I think it's the right decision.
That's a nice defensive effort. Altamirano with the attempt, and he's seen better days.
Yeah, too easy for Jew, that one, wasn't it? But Altamirano, we know, can curl them in from a long way out. Didn't get any bend on that one at all.
Well, the first 15 minutes of this second half are going to be the telltale sign and how Coach Ensign wants to handle his substitution patterns. Because if they, with the way that they've started here in the second half so far, do you tempt fate or do you try to let that run just a little bit longer? Because so far so good here in the early portion of the second.
I honestly think at the moment he will just go as long as he can with these outfield players and hoping that he can get one to, you know, hopefully win the game. I mean, who knows? There could be lots of goals in this one, but I think he'll go as long as he can tonight.
Well, with just weeks remaining, the pressure is on. You can tune into ESPN3 on October 2nd as El Paso Locomotive look to secure one of the final playoff spots, while Fresno FC has its sights set on hosting some playoff games. It's Locomotive FC and the Foxes, October 2nd, for Wednesday night soccer on ESPN3. Hard to believe season is winding down the way that it is.
Well, we were talking about the 8-goal thriller, weren't we? We haven't got any goals here tonight between these two, but it seems forever ago that they were playing back in March. But as you said, you know, the season's got a little bit longer, hasn't it? But here we are, you know, looking at coming to the end of September and then into October, and the regular season will be done and we'll be into the playoffs for those lucky top 10 teams.
This is an interesting trip for Orange County as well, because you go here tonight in Tulsa, Rio Grande Valley next weekend. That's another incredibly lengthy trip, even from here. If Orange County elects to stay somewhere in the center and southern portion of the area before they go back home to face OKC Energy, which are also in a fight for their playoff lives. It's a difficult schedule for Orange County, especially considering their final four are OKC, 2 games on the road, Real, Monarchs, then Sacramento, then to come home to face Fresno on the last regular season home game on the 19th of October.
Yeah, just 2 home games, isn't it, for them? But I still think, Pop, that they'd fancy it. I think if you're an Orange County fan, you know, tuning into this, I think you'd fancy the run in a little bit. You know, I know there's lots of, no game in this division is going to be easy, is it? Let's face it, whoever you are, as we said, the Roughnecks have got to go to the team that's been eliminated, Tacoma Defiance, and who knows, as we said, what team they will be facing over there in Seattle. So, you know, every game, but I think if you're an Orange County fan, I think you fancy this, and with your team playing as they are. Lots of twists and turns to come yet.
Yeah, as much as we want to talk about winding down, there's still a lot of work left to be done for everyone. Lots of activity up on the Orange County side with their subs up and moving around and warming up. Hardly any activity with the Roughnecks. Seaton.
No, as I said, I think it's one of those nights where Coach Ensign is going to leave it as long as he can, and maybe, you know, the last maybe 15 minutes, maybe throw somebody else on up top, but I think he wants to keep it as it is. Well, Uzo can't believe the free kick went against him. I think there was half a dozen of one and 6 of the other. Pulling of the shirts then, but the referee went against the big striker.
It's almost a wayward ball, and it is by Hume. Giveaway near midfield. Uzo trying his best there. Tangled up. Roughnecks still with possession of the ball. Sheldon, his first touch almost got away from him. Reyes. Manny Gonzalez. Long ball to the near touchline. Marlin cannot keep it in play. Right idea from Manny. Difficult ball there from Marlin to be able to control. And
I think if the Roughnecks, you know, are going to have success tonight, they've got to get the ball to that man's feet, Marlon. He's played, you know, the odd moment in the game, hasn't he? But he needs to be more consistently on the ball, and that's not no fault of his. I think it's just when he needs the service to his feet.
Here's Quinn out wide. Handball called. Roughnecks with the quick restart. DaCosta.
And I don't want to read too much into possession stats, Pop, but I do think the Roughnecks have pulled it back a little bit. I mean, it's kind of 57-43, which is a little bit better than it was in the first half. And I think that's because they've come out. Here's the foul on Marlon. But I just think they've come out and they've possessed the soccer ball a little bit better in this second half.
Well, that's a good chunk. I mean, that's almost 7% because at high point in the first half, it was 63 in favor of Orange County. Not much as far as real attempts. 8 shots for Orange County, just one of those on frame. 5 for the Roughnecks. 1 on target for them as well. Quinn does well. Out wide. Back to Quinn. Will give ball back and knocked down there by Cyprian Hedrick, and that will be a corner. Now, Orange County is claiming that that was a handball there on Cyprian Hedrick.
Yeah, Christian Duke can't believe it. He's saying to the referee, well, hopefully we'll get a replay. Cyprian Hedrick, I think, is down there. But we might see the replay and see whether Christian Duke has a claim here. It's going to be a corner.
Well, there was 2 Orange County players that had the same reaction.
No, it's hit his head. I think it's a good header, isn't it?
It looked like that's what made first contact. And part of the reason why, because it was a well-driven ball, why Cyprian was down for a brief moment. Ball in the air from Forrester. Leaks out to the opposite side. Here's Duke. Two-man game there for a moment with Duke and Amico. and then a giveaway.
Yeah, Roughnecks won't mind that. It's going to be a substitution here for the Roughnecks on the hour mark, or coming up to the hour mark. And it's the one I predicted, Pop. Reyes is going to come out. I think that's sensible. And the last half an hour will be played.
Well, Calvin Resende, after the trade was made and Resende comes over, I've been impressed with Calvin. I think that he has played incredibly well through stretches here so far. And this is more of an offensive option now that Michael Encian has, and you'll see him make an impact here.
And I think if memory serves, he was thrown in Portland Timbers away on July 6th in a very difficult time to join the Roughnecks. So he's done extremely well. And there's a yellow card, I think, for Altamirano there. But I think, you know, to come in at that point couldn't have been an easy thing for him. And I'm pretty sure he came in early July and was in that game at Portland Timbers. I think the Roughnecks ended up with 9 players on the field. Still came out with a point, didn't they? A late equaliser for Portland Timbers. So, you know, he's a good professional and he'll do a good job, and it'll be a like for like. He'll be in there with Manny Gonzalez.
Native of Greenwich, Connecticut, acquired from El Paso Locomotive FC.
I think the referee praised referees when they keep control of the game. I think it's been an untidy game with lots of fouls, but I think he's done pretty well. He's known when to give a yellow card and when to talk to the players. I think he's done a good job.
Driven ball that does not find its way through. It was low into the box, cleared away by the Roughnecks, now sent back in. Hume using that big frame to keep that ball alive one more time. Settled by Quinn and had that one knocked away from him.
Well, if that ball had been put into the path of Altamirano, there was literally nobody back at all for Orange County. But it went too close to keeper Dew.
Dew played at the highest level in the Dutch leagues. Some time with the Hartford Athletic before being signed by Orange County.
We don't see many of those. That was a foul throw. Don't see many of those in the professional game.
We've had 2 of those in the last 2 home games.
Yeah. Collector's items. But it's good to see. It's a law of the game, and you have to do it properly, or it's a foul throw and it goes to the opposition. Important 28 minutes this for both teams here for different reasons.
Be interesting, Dave, if we get to see any of Brian Cayo, who is warming up for Orange County. He is one of their newest signings, 17. He was a member. It's a little bit strange what happened with him. He's a member of DC, or was DC United's academy, and played in several games for Loudoun United, and was thought to be one of those next homegrown players that was going to be signed. And then the next thing you know, he leaves and signs a deal with Orange County SC. And he is an incredibly talented player. More than likely is going to be a part of that Under-17 World Cup in Brazil. That's coming up in October, November. A gifted player for them, and a good signing.
Good signing and a good club. We said it in the first half, you know, why not? It's a good club, it's well run. We've got an injury here to Christian Duke, so we can just talk a little bit. But yeah, he's going to be interesting to see him and see his career develop, the number 29.
As we always do, I want to give credit to Alicia Rodriguez, who writes for Angels on Parade. It's an SB Nation site that covers LAFC, but also does a tremendous job in covering Orange County SC as well. She is one of the not only just great soccer writers, in my opinion, but one of the great female soccer writers that we have. And you're starting to see such great strides in that as well. A couple of good ones, and Alicia is one of those. So keep up the good work, Alicia.
Keep it going. Absolutely right.
Duke is going to make his way off the pitch. And coming in for him, you'll have Kevin Coleman in for Christian Duke. Kevin Coleman, Fairfax, Virginia, signed with Orange County on March 15th.
And away we go. Referee was keen to get things going. The substitution seemed to take a long time there.
Yeah, we also had Daniel Crisostomo.
Yeah, Coleman's had to be content with a place on the bench. Hasn't started a game this season. Has played in 8. This will be his 9th. Looking to make an impact in this game and break the deadlock for the team in 6th place. But here come the team in 16th place.
Altamirano tracks it down. Can't give him that byline. It's there, and it was a run from Uzo. Altamirano almost with a brilliant ball through. We'll have a look at it here on the replay.
Well, I think it was a great piece of skill from Altamirano. He frightened the life out of the defence here. Gets there. That's the perfect ball in, but that is brilliant defending from Hume again, because Uzo just needed a tap in and needed any time a striker cannot get in front of the defender. That's quality defending.
By the way, I'm glad you pointed that out, because Uzo, look at the distance that Hume is coming from. And that's a big man, 6'5", to be tracking that ball down. And he got there because Uzo had tucked to the inside of the other defender. That's good recognition from Hume to come over and shut that down.
Yeah, like I said, quality defending, and Uzo just couldn't get around the big man. And Uzo's just been substituted. Yanu Silva, who started the season up top, will just break off here.
That's Coleman. Speedy as Coleman. First attempt at a touch on the ball for him. Quinn. Forrester. Jones, who's been relatively quiet so far this evening. Roughnecks have done a good job. One of the more potent threats in USL. And a foul as he attempted to split the two defenders.
Danger here for the Roughnecks. This is the kind of set piece that can win you the game. Somebody like Hume up top there and just heading home. So Roughnecks will need to be at their best.
See here on the replay.
Yeah. I think it is a foul. Just coming back to Yanu Silva, he really had to wait his time again, because Uzo kind of scored that goal, didn't he, a few games ago?
Yeah, he did. Off the deflection, free for a moment. Skipped around. Still not out of danger yet. Forster trying to running onto it. Keeps it alive. The header straight up into the air, and that's on top of the netting.
Incredibly, Yanu Silva started 22 games in his Roughnecks career, and you know, that's quite a lot, but he's been on the bench lately because, as we said, Uzo, once he kind of scored that first goal, he was in a good reign of form, and he's kept the young man out. But Yanu Silva's got a chance here to break the deadlock in the last 20 minutes.
And here he is. Good ball on the first touch. Looking for him there.
Altamirano and Marlon have switched wings just to see if they can get anything going on the other wing. That's good
Alan
play
Roberts
from
has
Roberts.
his hands full here with Seaton, does well with it. Combination with goalkeeper Sean Lewis.
But, you know, without being negative or pessimistic from a Roughnecks side of things, someone like Seaton, you know, can be kept quiet for 89 minutes and then just pops up and scores the winning goal. So great strikers will find a way to...
Oh, same with Jones as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think that you've got him reined in, and then next thing you know, can strike at any moment.
Far from over.
71st minute. Roughnecks not only being patient here, but Orange County also making things difficult for them. Gonzalez has some space. How wide? Good save by Altamirano. Cuts to the inside left foot and cleaned it up, did the defender.
Yeah, thought about having a shot with his left foot, will break off.
Ansa Contour did a good job and quickly to the other end. There's Jones. And how about that save? Kicked away from Sean Lewis.
Well, what we were just saying just happened. You know, if they've kept him quiet for 70 minutes and there's Jones in on goal, he claps his hands because he knows that possibly he should have done better there, but credit the goalkeeper. And we alluded to him, his form in the first half. We'll see it here. Just the first time they've got in behind, really. There's the shot and there's the save. Doesn't matter whether you save with your legs or your hands. Great save.
Darwin Jones is like a viper. Did you see how that quick strike mentality? He was off to the races. Just takes one ball like that.
So again, everybody has to concentrate from the Roughnecks scores here because it just takes one lapse of concentration. Somebody gets a free header. Referee will talk to players pushing and shoving, as he always does at least once in every game. I think Hume's up there, occupying two Roughnecks defenders.
Curling ball in, this one all the way through the box, and will settle for a goal kick. Fans of USL unveiled its elite youth platform, the USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. Coleman running onto it. Sheldon tries to get there. Coleman using that speed, gets to the line. Lewis, easy jumping into the air.
Cyprian Hedrick did well there, and but what about Coleman? He's speed, and you know, good substitution. Players keep coming at the Roughnecks.
That's twice now we've seen him be able to turn it on. Good turn by Marlon. Marlon trying to keep that one on the ground, playing through to Janu Silva.
Would have been interesting to see if there would have been a flag there for the offside, or did Silva, you know, time his run to perfection. Doesn't matter anyway, cut out by the defender. Luca Lobo's not been able to get forward at all tonight, Pop. He's played at left back and he's pretty much had to stay there.
He's got his hands full.
I think they both have, haven't they, Sheldon and Luca Lobo, because of Coleman and Jones. They keep coming at them. You just get the impression that Orange County are totally in control of this game at the moment. The Roughnecks have got to hang in there and defend for their lives. Lobo leaving that one, thinking it was his.
you know, the further along this game gets as well, that's when mistakes get magnified as well. And I know that at times starts to creep into the back of several players' minds.
You watch Hume on the ball here. He just seems to be one of those players that seems to have oodles of time, doesn't he? He seems to be able to just casually go around the field, but he's a quality defender. Been very impressed with Hume tonight. It's one of the reasons, isn't it, why they've hardly conceded any goals of late. Just things like that where he holds off Silva, and here, look, just really good quality professional.
DaCosta would have been better to take one touch from there had Altamirano on the diagonal ball. Tried to use his first touch, just couldn't complete it. There's Jones. Roberts tracking him. Good tackle there in the far corner by Malin Roberts. Flag is up.
Yeah, Roberts has had a good game. I have to go back to the corner there. Roberts has had a good game. He's been strong, big, physical. Been a good presence back there.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. How about Rodrigo there?
Yeah.
Multiple touches there in a tight space against two defenders. There's a shove from behind, and that will give the Roughnecks a free kick here. Incredibly dangerous area of the pitch for Orange County.
Yeah, this is good for the Roughnecks because it gives them a bit of respite defensively, of course. Just go back to DaCosta there, tricking his way on the wing. Here's the foul on Marlon. That is a foul. Free kick, correct decision. But again, DaCosta, you know, from Coach Ensi's point of view, I'm sure he would have wanted a player of his quality on the ball over this, 77 minutes we've played. He's not seen a lot of the ball tonight, DaCosta. But again, he's one of those players, it just takes a few seconds and he can make something happen.
This will either be Gonzalez or DaCosta. Now, if it's Gonzalez, we've seen him hammer these from these types of distances. And that's what it is. Just missed the corner.
Great effort, and I think we'll see on the replay that was not too far away, and keeper Jew was beaten. It lands up on top of the net, but I think you'll see, Pop, this isn't that far away. You see the keeper there, he was stood still and just had to watch that, hoping it was going to go over, which it did.
Just barely, and it wasn't far from upper 90 as well.
Roberts fouling Seaton there, taking one for the team there, I think.
Don't mind that one. And my, how quickly the tide can turn from a golden chance the far end. Now Orange County's turn.
Everybody back in a Roughneck shirt in and around the 18-yard line.
Will one of these two teams find a way to break through? 79th minute.
Just a little bit surprised it didn't go more direct from the free kick there. Played it out wide on the right, and it gave an angle for Sean Lewis to come out and collect that one confidently.
And kind of a lackadaisical ball as well that's played into the box there from that.
Yeah, don't think the coach would be too impressed with that.
Silva, can he get to it? The flag is up anyway.
Yeah, acrobatic stuff from Silva, but correct decision. He'd just gone too early. Lovely ball over the top. You don't get too many balls in behind the Orange County SC defence. Here we'll see it, but yeah, he's just gone a couple of paces, but he had to get on the end of the ball.
Driven ball settled here by Sheldon. We've hit the 81st minute. Roughnecks will have another substitution now. This time it's Manny Gonzalez.
I think Manny Gonzalez has performed very well tonight. Shakes hands with Coach Ensign. It's an attacking substitution. Coach Ensign realizing with 10 minutes to go, he's got to go for the 3 points. We'll have a look at what's going to happen. I think DaCosta has dropped further back into the midfield. It's an attacking substitution and a brave one.
It's Boyaki Mensah on for the Roughnecks side.
I mean, you look at the attacking players the Roughnecks have got on now. Marlon Altamirano, DaCosta, Boyaki Mensah. I mean, they're all there, you know, trying to do the job. Yano Silva up top.
Sean Lewis taking advantage of it, and can Yano Silva run onto it? He got a first touch and contact that's there. The fans are up on their feet. I don't think you can call that foul at all.
No, and Orozco's an experienced player and a good professional as well, an honest professional. That was not a foul.
Here's Coleman again. Good footwork and speed. Sheldon dove in, got a piece of it. Quinn.
Well,
shut down there from Cyprian Hedrick.
Yeah, sometimes you just need your captain. It's going to be a yellow card for Hugh. But sometimes you need your captain just to step in, and I think Cyprian Hedrick threw his life on the line there. Certainly, DaCosta has just withdrawn a little bit to go back then with Resende. Another substitution here. Forrester's coming off.
So this will be Godoy. One for Orange County.
Yeah, last change you would have felt from both coaches. So we'll just see who can break this deadlock and perhaps win the game.
Godoy, the UC Irvine product. Kind of feel tension starting to show signs over the last couple of moments. Coleman just tried to play that one back centrally. Roughnecks incredibly fortunate that there was not an Orange County player there.
Game getting stretched now. Roughnecks aren't used to 0-0 draws pop. They've only had one, and that was way back against Las Vegas Lights on May 25th.
2 draws this season in their matchups with Las Vegas, 0-0 and 1-1. Boyaki Mensah, he touches cleaned up there by Orange County.
And that Las Vegas draw here on August 28th, you just felt that, you know, we talked to Coach Ensign, didn't we? And that was the game before the Fresno win, and he felt they could have won that game as well.
Yeah, I think he was still a tad bit upset about the result in that one, even with getting a point out of Las Vegas. I feel like hands down that they had earned the 3 points there, just couldn't find a way.
Well, everybody stood still then, apart from Hume.
Quinn, now Coleman. Quinn on the overlap. Will Coleman use him? Yes, he will. Left-footed attempt at a cross. Good job and good hustle from Luca Lobo, or excuse me, Matt Sheldon. Sheldon's had a good game this evening. Long throw in here for Orange County. Easy there for Lewis. Take it out of the air.
Orange County have had 4 0-0 draws on the season, so certainly they know how to manage games, but I think they'd be a tad disappointed if they don't go away with all 3 points here tonight, considering the positions in the table.
Fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL. At least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus.
Great value, isn't it? You know, if you're a neutral, you can switch on a game, watch it on ESPN Plus, and see how the teams are getting on. It's a great value. And important when you're an Orange County fan and your team's playing in Oklahoma or vice versa. Keep up with your team.
Yanu with a touch, couldn't find Calvin Resende, who hasn't had much of the ball since he's come on, has he?
No, he's not. He's not. He's been working hard off the ball, but he's just not seen it in the middle there. No chance being given there to push up on the line. Luca Lobo was sitting very deep when he saw that ball go over his head.
Yeah, he had extra cushion there with Jones.
That was good battling from Resende. The man we just mentioned hasn't seen much of the ball. Long throw coming up. Up come the big men from the back, Roscoe and Hume.
Onto Contour will attempt this one into the box. Just kept carrying to the far side. A shot that's knocked away.
That is a terrific block, and I think it was Rodrigo da Costa. 1 minute at One Oak, he's scoring a fantastic overhead kick. And then he's throwing his body on the line to defend and keep his side at 0-0. Still some defending for the Roughnecks to do.
Long throw in again. This time bounces the way Minsaboaki, but back the other direction.
We just felt there might have been an offside there, but maybe one of the defenders hanging back. I think the substitute there, Boyke there, maybe a little bit of inexperience trying to dribble his way out, and I don't think he needed to lose it there.
That's another defender, though, putting their body on the line there to make sure that that does not find its way back to Sean Lewis, this time Luca Lobo. All the way back out almost to midfield. Coleman on the ground. Roughnecks have a chance here if they can find a way to break. Silva keeps it alive. And the flag is up. Altamirano was pointing at the assistant, waving him off. No matter though, call was made. Michael Ensign was pleading with Silva that he wanted more pressure. Referee says play on. We've got 3 minutes stoppage time that's added.
No foul there on Seaton. It's been a frustrating night for him.
Oh, good ball through Altamirano, and now the flag is up. That draws the ire of a few of the fans in attendance.
Yeah, there's been a few offsides tonight, but looked off again, I think, Altamirano.
Boyaki Mensah had
That'll
his
be a
jersey
card.
pulled. That should be a card, yes.
Well, Pop, it's a wonderful time to score, and it's a terrible time to concede. I wonder if there is just one last chance. We often say from our privileged position, one or the other or both teams get a really good chance on goal. Is this the chance for the Roughnecks to try and take all 3 points? Lines pushed up, 19 yards out.
Here's the jersey tug. Costa. And that might be a corner for the Roughnecks. It is.
This could well be the last opportunity for the Tulsa Roughnecks. Orange County SC will be desperate to keep this out.
And Rodrigo will take the slow jog. Now the brisk walk over to the corner to retrieve the ball. And we've got some extracurricular activity happening.
Yep, the number 99 clashing with the number 9. And the referee wants a word.
Yeah, I think he wants to bring everyone over. It's involved in that.
Interesting, the Roughnecks have kept 3 players outside the area. You just wonder whether they might afford one more in there. I know they don't want to lose on the breakaway.
Is that to counteract some of the speed that Orange County has?
I think you're right.
Back post now, a corner to closest side to our broadcast location.
Now I just think maybe one more, Pop. I don't know if we can see it out of shot, but there's 3 blue-shirted players. Here we go. Matt Sheldon's coming into the area, and I think that's better. There's just 2 outside now.
This may be it, Dave.
Yeah, I think DaCosta's doing well here. He's just slowing things down. What a time to win a game of soccer, this.
DaCosta's serve is curling in. Headed straight away, and we'll do it one more time.
Referee
so 3 chances.
Yeah, referee took a... Now another player comes in.
Keeper came flying out, got a piece of it. Boyaki, and just sent into the area that's there, and the flag is up. Referee says play on, and now this is Danger City. Sean Lewis has some magic to work, and Orange County has scored 3 minutes after stoppage time, and they are going to get out of here with 3 points, as the Roughnecks had absolutely nobody back, and it's Coleman who is the recipient of the easy pass, and he slots it home for the lead in the 94th minute.
Well, very good, intelligent, cool play on the breakaway. I think it was Orozco, wasn't it? up from the back there, striding forward, slides it to Coleman. Coleman slides it home. The Roughnecks and Coach Ensign are saying, number one, was the time up? And number two, was the player inside his own half or was he just offside? And that's a great decision from the AR because he ran through. It is Orozco, and he just slips it there to Coleman, and that's cool play, and Orange County have taken all 3 points.
But Dave, if we can go back and watch that, that is all set in motion by Seaton. Because Seaton is the first one to send the ball forward to Orozco, and it was his vision that saw that, sends it screaming forward. And that will do it, and Orange County SC comes in and absolutely steals one in stoppage time here in Tulsa to keep their winning streak alive. They now go to 6 in a row. And Tulsa's unbeaten streak comes to an end at 4 with an unbelievable finish here at One Oak Field.
Unbelievable finish, and I can only think that the Roughnecks players, Coach Ensign just having a word, or getting his players away, excuse me, can only be about the time pot because it's absolutely onside, no question at all. Orozco was in his own half when he received the ball. It wasn't offside. It was a cool piece of play. I can only think the complaints are about the time. But you could argue it the other way and say the Roughnecks had 2 corners perhaps in extra time, couldn't you? But it's all ending in handshakes. Brave performance defensively from the Roughnecks. I think the quality of Orange County did show through in the end. It's a shame that either team has to lose, but the Roughnecks have to quickly pick themselves up for Wednesday night.
Well, as the officials make their way off the pitch, Tulsa now has to regroup, as you mentioned, Dave, and get set for Wednesday night with San Antonio. But what an incredible finish here. And we talked about what momentum will do for you, and that's what Orange County had on their side with 5 wins in a row, now make it 6. Tulsa was pushed up trying to get that one final chance with those 3 corners there within a 30-second span. And most of them thought that time was indeed up. But a heads-up play from Orange County to push the ball forward. And the game-winning goal scored by the sub, Kevin Coleman, to send Orange County SC away from Tulsa with 3 points.
Well, winning becomes a habit, doesn't it? And when you come in with 5 wins on the spin, you find a way to win. And they will look back on this game and say, boy, were they in a game. The Roughnecks defended stoutly. They didn't have too many chances on goal. But, you know, with the likes of Hume at the back, defending really, really well. And in the end, they find a way to win. And it's 6 games in a row. Congratulations to them. The Roughnecks, as I said, need to pick themselves up for the next game on Wednesday.
Well, let's take a look at some of the highlights from this evening. And this was an attempt from Forrester here early that actually ended up being a corner for Orange County. Forrester was subbed off here before tonight was over. Here's an opportunity for the Roughnecks with Altamirano, and had that one knocked away from him. And Sean Lewis, Dave, who I thought had a pretty big game himself.
Well, Sean Lewis doesn't deserve to be on the losing side and doesn't deserve a goal against his name because he's performed really, really well tonight, and his defenders did. But that was one of the better opportunities for Orange County in the first half.
And Sean Lewis did well to handle that one. There's another opportunity, and that was a chance there from Seaton, in which he's had better days and better attempts. Credit Hume, though, and that was the ball from Manny Gonzalez that was close.
Yeah, Manny Gonzalez, closest the Roughnecks got. Just going back to Seaton, you know, all the build-up was about Seaton, 12 goals. Here's a Janu Silva was offside on that one, but, you know, it's ironic, isn't it, that it's a substitute, Coleman, who will take the plaudits for scoring the tap-in. But the Roughnecks did well to keep Seaton and Jones quiet.
And here is the game winner. Ball there from Seaton. Orozco, and he's waiting. You saw him wait for help. Coleman's making the run and easily places it into the net. Well past the 93rd minute. and that is your game winner.
And you could just see Orozco receive the ball there in his own half, and that's a quality piece of play from the captain, and a tap home for the substitute. All 3 points going to California.
I want to say thank you to everyone here at One Oak Field for the great production work, everyone working the cameras this evening and in the production booth, and to you for watching in wherever that you might have been from this evening as Sean Lewis greets some of the fans here at One Oak Field. We'll be back here on Wednesday night, San Antonio FC. It's a 7 o'clock kick for the Roughnecks and San Antonio. Until then, have a good night from all of us here in downtown Tulsa. For my partner, Dave Saunders. Great job tonight, Dave. I am Jeremy Poplin. Final score for the final time. Orange County SC will walk away with 3 points in the 1-0 victory over the Roughnecks.
My name's Sean Riley. I'm a practicing chiropractor in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've been fortunate to practice for 19 years, owner-operator of the integrated facility Tulsa Spine and Rehab. This is what sets us apart at Tulsa Spine and Rehab. Integrated care. We have multiple different providers providing multiple different options for multiple different types of conditions. We have a concise treatment plan. What that means is it's not going to be open-ended. We're going to make specific recommendations. We're going to get you feeling better as quickly as we possibly can. And lastly, we're going to get you, the patient, on board with your treatment. What that means is we want to get you involved. We want to get you doing home exercise. We want you modifying activity. And what that means is we're going to try to keep you out of this office. Ultimately, we want to get you moving.
How was school today?
Mrs. Smith, what are you doing?
Recycling.
You can't put plastic bags in the blue recycling cart, but you can recycle this milk jug. You can recycle stuff from all over the house.
You can recycle this empty box.
What about these hangers?
Just aluminum and steel cans, paper and cardboard, plastic bottles and jugs,
Glass bottles and jars.
To learn more, check out TulsaRecycles.com.
In about 8th grade, I realized that my knees really were hurting, and I ended up tearing both of my patellar tendons in several places.
Dr. Stanley and Tulsa Bone and Joint, he gave us all of our options, explained them, and we knew walking out that we were in the best place possible for her. From a mom's perspective, without Dr. Stanley, without his staff, we would not have been able to give her her senior year.
I'm Chad Smith with Becco Contractors. As an employer, we're always worried about new employees coming to the job and not being aware of their surroundings and just not knowing what they're really doing because it's a new job site. So the partnership with Tulsa Tech has really helped us take that worry out of the equation. We know that they're fully trained and ready to go by the time they show up on the job.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.